안녕하세요. 저는 Weki and welcome back to episode 4 of Ichibang. For those of you guys who are unfamiliar with this series, if it's your very first time tuning into the channel, this is our little podcast segment that we like to do over here whenever we've got stuff to talk about, which is practically always. And episode 4 today, we're going to be focusing yet again on some more K-pop stuff, and I'm here joined by Chat, my lovely guests, and of course co-hosts at the same time. So welcome, Chat, and welcome to those of you guys as well who happen to be returning. I really hope that you've enjoyed the podcast series so far. We've done 3 episodes at this point, right? 3, yeah, 3. We did the New Jeans one to begin with, Stray Kids, and then we did Boys Planet stuff. Of course, I think it was last week. Honestly, I don't feel like it was that long ago, but it probably was. Like, I don't know. Was it like 11 or 12 days ago or something? Hang on, let me check. See, this is the OCD, bro. I gotta know. I just can't put this to bed. Boys Planet has started. What day was this? 12 days ago. Fuck. Well, my bad. Anyway. We're here, and we're excited. Now, bro, there's been a lot of things going on in the last month or so, even just in the Korean entertainment industry. Of course, there's lots of things that have happened. You know, from HYBE acquiring shares in SM, which we did not dare speak about because one, I don't like. I've got my own opinions on it, but also at the same time, they're not, I think, versed. They're not steeped in knowledge enough about the intricacies of it, so I feel that it's probably best that I didn't talk about it, hence why I didn't. But one thing I will share, I think at this point, especially after the fact that everything is now over, is that hopefully, if there's one silver lining to that share acquisition, hopefully it means that SM actually wind up giving more to their artists in terms of like reality and variety type stuff. Really, I think that HYBE at this point, regardless of your opinion on them as a company or their acquisitions and the way that they invest money into the entertainment industry, whether it be in Korea or whether it be in the West or even in Japan at this point, I think one thing that's really difficult to argue against is that they have some of the strongest in-house content production just across the industry. And I think honestly it is just brilliant. Like, it's absolutely brilliant. Not only from a fan's perspective, but from a marketing perspective as well too, to actually, you know, help the artists become bigger. I think that it adds a significant amount. It really helps people to be able to fall deeper into artists, obviously to spend more money. I mean, if you're like, hey, but that's a bad thing, right? Like, it means that they're greedy. Companies are greedy. Shock horror. But yeah, I think that it's really cool that obviously they do things the way that they do, and I'm kind of hoping low-key that some of that winds up bleeding over to SM if they ever do have, you know, a bigger say or whatever. Of course, they say that it wasn't like an aggressive takeover or anything like that, and I mean, there was a lot of drama. I mean, naturally, companies are going to be upset when things change, especially very suddenly, the way that they did with Isuman selling off shares and whatnot. But I just found it really funny. The memes, I think, were really, really, really good. You know, like Tati, I'm breaking my silence, and then, you know, like SM's logo, or like, you know, Isuman's face was like photoshopped over like the Tati thumbnail and stuff. I just thought that shit was fucking hilarious, man, and just reminded me of the fact that, like, when it comes to the internet, sometimes it's an absolutely horrendous place, and sometimes it's just the best. Sometimes it is just the best, and I was like, bruh, that is so true. Because really, it was like that. Not gonna lie, I was very surprised with the way that SM even released a video like that. I think a lot of people were too, but I was like, all right, well, interesting. You do you. I'll watch that later, but of course, it wasn't, I think, everything that a lot cracked it up to be. If it was a little bit more, like, I'd say if there was, I think, more obviously at stake, then I would have probably like justified what was going on, I think, like with the release of that SM video. But also at the same time, it's not like it's not a big thing. Like, you know, the broader kind of discourse regarding the K-pop industry and HYBE's involvement in it is one that surrounds the question of monopoly, and whether or not having a monopoly on the K-pop industry is a good thing or a bad thing. Personally, I think that it's not really that good of a thing. You need competitors to encourage one another in order to be able to, wind up essentially just creating better shit. But then, yeah, we'll just kind of leave that there. But regardless, we had that, and I was like, damn, that was a really big thing, really big talk. We're late to it, but we're not at the same time, because this is ongoing, right? Like, this is not something that is necessarily stopped. But the silver lining, I always try and look for it. And I think with that, it's definitely down to content. I really hope that they are able to give more, because not going to lie, personally, I really feel like SM girl groups, especially, I mean, boy groups to a certain extent as well. NCT just get a fuck ton of content though. And I mean, as they should, because they're a huge group, they're massive, they're fucking awesome. But, Red Velvet and aespa, to a very large extent, pretty much largely just don't really get much at all. Like, they don't really have much out there, even as far as like publicized content that's easy to access, that's say not on KEP1ER or like behind a paywall or something like that for people to be able to, access to fall into them and stuff like that. I'm not saying that they don't have that. Like, they've got, Red Velvet have like Level Up Project and all of these other things that they've done as well too, which is great. But, as far as like ongoing in-house content is concerned, stuff that happens, with like every single comeback, similar to say like, To Do or Lennyverse or Promise's Channel 9, like they don't really have that. And I feel like the industry has kind of evolved to a point where you need that. And I'm just really kind of hoping that SM can kind of move towards that direction. But it kind of sounds like they are. I really hope that. But anyway, bro, look, things have been pretty crazy, but last night something dropped, and that was pretty much the thing where I was like, okay, I've got enough that I want to talk about at this point. We must talk about it for me to obviously want to start up this podcast, and that is Babymonster's last evaluation teaser. Do we all know about Babymonster's last eval teaser so far? Do all of us know about that? Pain. Ugh. Oh, damn. Ooh, yeah, yup. Well, pain. Yeah, we do. Alright, well, if you guys don't want spoilers, then feel free to mute the video for a couple of minutes or whatever, but damn, Schmappy just Schmappy just went bang. There's your spoilers. Look, basically, for those of you guys who haven't seen it yet, for anyone who wants to know, for anyone who does want to know, there we go, proper English. Basically, there was a teaser released last night where YG was saying that Babymonster will never be 7 members, and that basically, and this is me paraphrasing, so forgive, of course, if I don't say things in the correct order or in the exact correct way, but just trying to convey the general feeling. Basically, he said, well, Babymonster will never be 7 members, but also on top of that, we want to hold the final evaluation before everyone else, which kind of goes in line with his, like, the fans will judge Babymonster and their skills type thing, kind of alluding to the fact that there's still members to cut. Now, me personally, when I first woke up, some context about yesterday, right? Dude, I went to bed something like, I don't know, 7:30 p.m. I was sick. I was feeling sick. I had a long day, and I was like, bruh, I'm dead tired, so I'm going to bed. My body wakes me up practically, like if I'm asleep, my body wakes me up like, half an hour before 12 a.m. KST, because I'm like, and I'm here. Dude, when you like, kind of like have a little bit of a headache, you sound really like, like kind of congested and like shit like that. You've still got like sleep and shit in your eyes and stuff like that, and you kind of like, I don't know, maybe you sleep on your like, maybe you like sleep with your hand on your cheek wrong or some shit, and then you got like this massive ass mark or some shit across the side of your face. A little bit of drool maybe dried up. That was basically how I woke up yesterday, bro. I woke up like that, and I was literally just like, I was chilling. I was chilling. I was in the bathroom. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna just be ready in case there's something that winds up dropping. And then, of course, lo and behold, Babymonster dropped. And it says, last evaluation teaser. And I went, what? I was like, what? So I sat down and I watched it. And bro, I was bamboozled. Like, to say the least, I was absolutely bamboozled. I don't know about you, but when I've just woken up, my mind is pretty one track. Like, I don't think. I'm not thinking, eh? I'm like, I wake up and I'm sitting there and I'm just like, bruh, what do you mean not 7 members? And I just didn't understand it at first, so I needed to replay it immediately and then like start pausing on certain parts to be like, never, 절대, never, 7 members. Okay. And yeah, it was tough, but after I'd uploaded the video, naturally I kept on watching the teaser a couple of more times. I do this anyway with music videos and stuff because, you know, that's how you get screen caps for the thumbnail and stuff. And it dawned on me. The reality dawned on me. And I went, well, surely this has got to be a bait. Now, I know that there's a lot of people who have responded to this teaser in very interesting ways. I think, dude, on my post, so on my personal YouTube post, that video got such an insane amount of comments. It got 342 comments, bro. And I was like, bro, what are all you people saying? Basically, half of the people believe that it's a bait, and half of the people are like, I want to kill YG, I hate YG, there's no way that I'm going to stand this group if it's less than 7 members, blah, blah, blah. And they went crazy. Oh, and then there's also like 10% of them who are like really gatekeepy, being like, well, you don't know YG like I do, he's famous for YG, like YG's famous for this type of thing. There's like, you know, those types of people everywhere. Everyone's pretty much respectful about it though, which is fine. I'm just making a meme, but still. And I can understand why, right? I just guess that, for me personally, okay, my first thought is, I think that this is a bait, it's a marketing tactic, and I think that basically this is pretty similar to the way that like 16 worked with Twice, and the way that the Stray Kids survival show worked with Stray Kids, if that makes sense. Everything that we've seen so far has been pre-recorded, and there's practically no 2022 stuff in the Babymonster teasers that we've seen so far. Like, all of this is like 2021 and before. I think what happened was that YG had initially planned on there being less than 7 members. Like, I think that they'd initially had 10 or so. I think there were like 3 members who were blurred out, so they'd probably already been cut by the time the teaser was filmed. And for that final evaluation, I think that he decided that, yeah, he wanted it to be like less than 7 members. I think the thing is though, is that considering that, a year or so later, we've got 7 live performance videos, we've got 7 introduction videos, like introducing, and they've been introduced as Babymonster with their ages and all of that type of stuff. We've had character playlists for them. They're on the teaser posters, it's set as 7 members and stuff like that. The whole marketing campaign so far, it doesn't really match up with the fact that then they might be cut, because like that would just be shooting that, you know what, that wouldn't even be shooting yourself in the foot, that would just be amputating your leg. like that's basically just like, that's not even, you know, shooting yourself in the foot. You basically just get rid of both your legs then, and you go, okay, cool, goodbye. Because it would just, like, the amount of antis I think that you would create with that would just be ridiculous, right? So that's kind of where I think, okay, well, surely this is not the case. And I think that probably similar to the way that other things have been done in the past, maybe like he'd initially planned on that, but then he'd seen the final evaluation and he'd probably changed his mind and thought, well, there's no way that we can actually continue on without this group being 7 members, because any way I look at it, if I take one out, it doesn't feel complete. That's what I'm hoping. I remember Lino and Felix got cut from Stray Kids, and then JYP was actually talking to them, like JYP met with them and was like, yeah, so I know you were cut, but yeah, you're actually really good, so yeah, you're back in. Then they're back in, right? I also know that with Twice, bruh, fucking 16, you'll remember that? Dude, the dog analogy is crazy. Right? You'll remember, yeah, Dude, Momo got eliminated like halfway through the show, right? Halfway through. And then at the finale, JYP's like, hey, Momo, you're in the audience, right? Get up here, you remember. And then, you know, like, they just kind of like decide these things where, you know what? The main culprit is JYP. YG, have you and JYP been having tea, bro? What are you doing? Like, why? Why is the main culprit always JYP, bro? Jesus. Yeah, at Momoland as well too. There's been plenty of examples where this has happened before, and so it doesn't really make sense. And I think that it will wind up being fine. This is just my copium. I could really, really eat my words with that, and you know what? Honestly, I'm happy to, because I mean, the worst case scenario, I just wanted to believe that it was going to be a little better. The only thing I do have to say though is that, how can I put it? The only criticism I do have of the teaser is rather just, I don't really see why we needed it, if that makes sense. The amount of hype and the talk and attention that Babymonster have been getting so far has been like monstrous. Like, and I don't even mean to play on words there. Like, it's been massive. Like, everyone is talking about them in one way or another. There's multiple different points and or topics to talk about the release of this new group, and it's a YG group, so naturally it's going to garner that type of attention. It's going to sour some people, I think, and some people might not even necessarily be aware of the fact that there is an alternative way that you could probably think about that, because maybe it's people's first time in K-pop, or, you know, something like that. But yeah, I just feel like it's one of those things where it's like, we could have gone without it. I think maybe it will add a little bit. I mean, technically at the end of the day, like, press, regardless of whether it's good or bad, is still good press, if that makes sense. Like, even bad publicity is still technically good publicity because it's a talking point, but I don't think anyone ever stopped talking about them. So I just kind of question, at least, I don't know why we needed to do that, but either way, we're there. It could very well be, and let me just say this, if it does wind up being the situation where someone does get cut, I don't know how I'm going to feel about that, because that's just fucking insane. Like, that would just be the most unfathomable. Yeah, that just wouldn't work for me, man. That, like, I just would not know how to respond to that. I'd have to come back to that later if that was the case, but yeah, I'd just be like, wow, well, what? It would just not work. A lot of the K-pop environment is solidly based around the hype train. Why would YG force the train off the tracks right as it's building momentum? True. Very true. And I think that that's the essence of it, right? I just do feel like most people anyway, because here's the thing, right? If he forces the train off the tracks, then if we wind up having a resolution to this pretty soon, so we get, like, you know, the final evaluation result or something, and it's like, yay, like, every Babymonster member gets a debut, everyone's like, whoa, and then, you know, it's remedied just as quickly as it's thrown off, if that makes sense. So, I mean, if it's not strung if it's not strung and drawn out too long, then it'll probably wind up working out. But yeah, I've got to say, like, I woke up and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this is crazy. This is so crazy. Like, why did we need this? But yeah, it was very, 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 very interesting, bro. Like, I think that's one of the things that has probably surprised me the most in a bit. Like, in a bit. And May as well. This is one thing I was saying last night in the comments, right? If they had advertised it this way in the beginning, so if they'd put this last evaluation teaser to begin with, then it must have, like, at that point, we would have been like, oh, who are they? Like, oh, you know, I feel like people probably would have been a little bit more curious about the actual members themselves. Not that they weren't anyway, but, like, I think that would have built hype for the member releases and the member unveils a lot. Like, if, you know, they were like, oh, here's the Babymonster teaser, like, this is about to be the brilliant one, like the, you know, the new Frontier one that they poured out. Was it New Frontier? I can't remember what it was called. Anyway, the first BAEMON teaser that they dropped, I think was December or like very early January. I can't remember. I think it was New Year's. No, it was New Year's Day, right? Right? Something like that. Next Movement. There you go. Like with that, if they had to drop the Next Movement teaser and then drop the Last Evaluation teaser, I think that still would have chronologically worked and built hype in a really good way. But yeah, with it coming out now, I'm like, okay, surely this is just a big old, you know, surely this is a big old stir the pot. And, you know, it seems to be working. Lots of people are talking about it, but I don't necessarily know whether or not some people fall out about it. Maybe it complicates thoughts that others might have already had about it. I don't know, but either way, a very, very, very crazy one. YG does have a track record of having a group in the pipeline long term. Future 21 could be hyped for the next one. Don't understand it though. Yeah, I get that. Some people were saying as well too that the one thing that is a worry though is that apparently Big Bang was supposed to be 6 members. This is something that I don't really know about, so I'm talking out of my ass and only just with the reference of Korean comments here. But some of the Korean comments were saying that Big Bang was apparently supposed to be 6 members and that they'd appeared on a show that had teased them as 6 members, but then they only debuted with 5, hence the anxiety of some people regarding this teaser coming out when it does, because like it actually has been followed through on before. I think circumstances across time and space are different though. Like, you know, everything is very much circumstantial, so case by case. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Babymonster regardless. But bruh, was anyone else like me, bro? Was anyone else like, what the fuck? dude, I was shook. Absolutely shook to my core, bro. I was straight up just sitting here and I was staring. I just kept replaying it and I was like, what? You were shook? I nearly dropped my phone. Right? Blackpink was supposedly meant to be 9 as well too. I'm not too sure about that. I'm not questioning the validity of that. I just don't necessarily know too much about the early BP days. Despite being a pre-debut fan myself, I was very much a casual watcher at that time, so I didn't dive too far. Shook is an understatement. As someone not following, that's still crazy. I know, yeah. Maybe that's what it's for though. That could very much be it. For people who aren't following, to inject that little bit of interest. Like, it's drama, it's kind of crazy, it's a little interesting, so people would be like, wait, okay, well, if I need to vote for someone, if I need to check out someone, who do I need to check out? So maybe it does actually encourage people who are probably on the fence about Babymonster, or, you know, who are thinking about doing, like, you know, who are thinking about listening to them or not, or thinking about checking them out. Maybe it encourages them to do that. A lot of people think that there's like a mini YG survival show or something that's going to happen, but yeah. Linda with Blackpink, it wasn't confirmed that they were potential members, but they were potential members, if that makes sense. Got you. Like I mentioned before with me on. Got you. Okay. I have to look into that myself. All right, well, yeah, dude, that was the main thing. I was like, we got to talk about. But indeed, might encourage people, but for me, it's another instance of companies using the hopes and dreams of trainees for gain at their expense. Yeah, it could wind up backfiring on the girls, and I think that that's probably the worst part. I think, thankfully, in my comments section at least, which is decent amount in size as we've been able to ascertain, I don't think that anyone's gone to that level yet, but I do think that if that, like, follow-up doesn't come soon, like, people are already saying things like, oh yeah, well, it should be 5 members, I thought 2 were lacking, so blah, blah, blah. Like, people already kind of start to get a little toxic. Yeah, that's right, Hyunsung. Yeah, he wound up going to Cube and ending up in Beast. Thank you, Hyo. I forgot the name of the specific member. Yep. But I was like, okay. I think that they will. I think that they will debut as 7. I hope that they do as well too. But we will definitely have to wait and see. But as we continue, bro, another thing that is coming soon that we've talked about a little bit, but of course I'm very excited for, and I know a lot of you guys are excited for, is Kep1ER's big comeback. Now, big comeback is a crazy thing to say. Big comeback, what do we mean? What do we mean by that, Wake One? Do we mean big comeback as in a potential tour announcement? Or something else on the back of that? Do we mean that it's going to be a full album? Indeed. Do we mean that potentially they're going to be doing a lot more this year and that this is the very beginning of it? Who knows? My personal belief is that it's probably a full-length album. Generally, around this time, produce groups, or former produce groups rather, should I say, kind of like start to, you know, release their full albums around about this time, around about a year and a half or so into their contracts and whatnot. KEP1ER at the moment is, how far? 14 months? 14 months into about 20, no, 40, yeah. What? Yeah, they're almost at halfway. Anyway, there we are. I was like, wait, how many months? 14 months. Going on 15 by the time that they have this. So they'll be literally halfway through their contracts by the time that this next album comes out, which will be good because it's basically like a really awesome milestone for them. And I think hopefully a full album followed by, hoping even more, a tour will be good. They've obviously got their Japanese release, Fly Up, which is coming extremely soon. We've got, you know, obviously then a massive Korean comeback. They've obviously got plans to do other shows again this year. I mean, they'll likely be traveling again this year. If there's another Hallyu Pop Fest, they might be back here. There'll be a KCON again, maybe a world tour. There's tons and tons of stuff, but they've already got the discography for it. They've already got the discog. They've got the size. They've got the ability. And I think that they might have the ability also to bank quite a few world tour stops as well too. I do know that so far, Kep1ER's presence in Australia through Hallyu Pop Fest, which was held in Sydney in August last year, was a good one. There were a lot of people cheering for them, and I mean, it's a stadium that can hold, an arena rather, should I say, that can hold around 15 to 20,000, and the cheers were loud, bro. They were big when they came on, and everyone got to do a fan meet with them, so I think it was a really good way of being able to promote them. I think also on top of that, because everyone got to get a fan meet with them, I was kind of hoping at the time that that potentially means that they're trying to build that audience here so that then, you know, like, people will want to see them when they do wind up coming over. They've got their Japan tour in June as well too. So yeah, look, heaps of stuff obviously coming for them. I Do You, brilliant fucking song. Absolutely brilliant. I still think Up remains untouched as like my favorite title of theirs, just period. Like, I listen to that song and it's pure serotonin, and I think the fact that I've seen it live probably really biases me there. But I Do You is absolutely incredible. In US, of course. Yeah. And yeah, I Do You has been absolutely amazing. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what their Japan tour is going to look like. They're massive over there, man. And I know that some of you guys say that it's not important, but it is. It's fucking huge. Like, to be big in Japan is to be successful, really. I think it's definitely one of those kind of like hallmark moments of being able to say, damn, we made it. Because of course, if you're able to capture the Japanese market, whether it be the K-pop market or whatever, but if you're able to sell out arenas in Japan, then that's fucking wild. And the fact that they've done that so far based on just like showcase performances, so showcases, and then this is an actual like, it's a proper freaking tour where they've got multiple stops in multiple different cities there. That's going to be absolutely awesome. So I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, dude, what do we reckon? Massive comeback. What do you reckon are the probabilities for a world tour this year, chat? What do you think? Kep1ER come to England challenge. Let's go. Truth. 3 major releases in both Japanese and Korean, with Queendom 2 in over just a year itself, is pretty impressive. Indeed, I think a lot of people really try and undersell Kep1ER. I mean, I've talked about this a lot before already too. Like, I've said this on I've said this even on the Kep1ER Where Do They Stand video that we did, which was at the start of the year, so for their first anniversary. A lot of people love to sell them short, and I mean, this is something I'll actually talk about in a little bit more depth, but I just really kind of think at this point there are, yeah, like the next topic I think is a really good point to talk about it, but yeah, people just scapegoat them, I think, which is really unfortunate. It's kind of arse, but it doesn't hold up. They did a photo shoot with Tesco and etc. Truth. An Asia tour, yeah, I think an Asia tour is probably really likely. Q3 2023 would make sense for a tour if they release an album in the first half. So true. Yeah, so true. I think a US and Asia tour is probably very likely. For sure. As much as I want to build up Copium for Australia. Yeah. I mean, Twice just discovered us. I'm going to that, by the way, bro. Fuck, I'm excited for that. Like, Twice just found out that Australia exists. Even though they technically knew because they've filmed content here before. But they've never done anything here. But, oh, it's pain. I'm like, oh, if Twice only just found us, how many years would it take Kep1ER to remember? So, regardless, bro, I would drop all the money, man. But, yeah, very much looking forward to that. Maybe a sparse stop list if they go multiple continents. True. Now, well, Kepi's comeback I'm really looking forward to, but do you know who else I'm really super looking forward to? Yes. It's a girl group. Anyone got any guesses on another girl group that I'm mad pumped for that's coming back really soon? Oh? Chebo. I'm very excited for Chebo. Cherry Bullet's going to be awesome. Le Seraphim? Billy? Jisoo? Pixie? Jisoo's a girl group. You know what? Practically she is. Oh, that's valid. Twice, indeed. Billy's going to be sick, though. Pixie will be sick. Twice will be fucking awesome. Literally all of them. There's a group that I'm really excited for to come back, and that is NMIXX. I'm very excited for NMIXX, man. Why? I'm ready for the switch up, bro. I'm ready to see everyone switch up on them, and I really hope they do. If they don't, I don't know what to say, bro. We're out of taste. If they don't, we're out of taste, but bro, I am so fucking ready for the switch up on NMIXX, and I'm so pumped. Yup, that acapella made me hype af. I'm so pumped to see it, especially after the acapella highlight medley. I just think the fact that they're coming back with a mini album is it. Like, that is going to be, I think, their turning point for them, which is so important because God, they need it. Yeah, dude, Lily has it out for everyone, man. I mean, what was it? Lily and Chiu especially. I mean, Kyujin just remains perpetually just ridiculously strong. Like, I swear to God, bro, every time Kyujin performs, I'm like, bro, are you real? Like are you sure you're not just like a machine? Because you're a machine. Like, you're insane. But like, dude, Lily and Chiu especially this era absolutely have it out for everyone, and I think that's crazy. Still floors me to think that people were bedge about them. Let me say this, right? If you didn't like NMIXX's music, or if you don't like NMIXX's music, and you just go, oh, I don't really like that, so I'm not going to listen to that, that's okay. The thing that's crazy is people who hate stuff, just in general, but also like spend their time hating, like talking about it, hating. I will never ever understand that, because that's literally just like the craziest, most boring energy ever. And I think that this is exactly what I was going to say earlier with Kep1ER. I think out of the class of 2022, Kep1ER and NMIXX probably wound up being the two groups that just became the object of hate for like those brain dead K-pop listeners to just hate on. Like, they literally just became punching bags. And it was fucking ridiculous because people were like just not satisfied with so many different things. I know that, you know, I'm not really deep into like stan culture like that to the point that, you know, I can talk about all of this type of stuff, but, you know, like token standing, the people token stand. I don't even know why people do that. Like, if you like something, like it. If you don't like something, don't like it. But people are like, oh, I'm only standing so and so because I'm waiting for so and so to debut. Like, fuck, just don't listen to them then. Or like, just listen to them, but you don't have to be a fan. You don't have to like everything or whatever. Anyway, it's crazy. It's very brain dead. Could never relate to it. But I think that, yeah, people were really not satisfied with OO, considering NMIXX's JYPN stuff that they came out with. And, you know, like, to a certain extent, I can understand why that might have, like, bamboozled people. I can understand why some people might have just been like, what? But people never really gave them a chance. And I also think, to a certain extent, JYP kind of didn't really give them a chance as well, too. I'm not blaming either. I'm just saying, like, in hindsight, like, using hindsight, I think that I can probably say that at this point. Especially after the way that 2022 unfolded. But like, I think NMIXX's recent expergo teaser will be a good way to shut everyone up as to whether or not they have the ability to like make good music outside of their like mix concept. Because, you know, people tried to claim that certain groups or certain companies like own genre mixing, and they were like, oh well, you can't have the mix concept because my company first or my group first did that first. Like, they invented that, when they didn't. Like, it's just been popularized maybe by certain companies or, you know, whatever. But, you know, people were really upset with that to begin with. And, you know, of course, naturally, there's this weird ass fucking conversation nowadays. Y'all are aware of like the lip syncing, that like the live vocals versus lip syncing debates that are going on, like all the fucking time. Like, I don't know why all of a sudden everyone is so obsessed with it. Like, everyone's so obsessed at the moment with, you know, oh, like, so and so fucking lip syncing, like, oh, they're lip syncing on music shows, they're fucking shit idols. Like, it's almost like you've never watched a music show before, or you are just completely unaware of the fact that, like, it's incredibly hard to sing certain songs and fucking dance. It's like incredibly hard to do that because you literally have to be like a superhuman. Like, sometimes there's just certain notes that you can't hit without stopping. K-pop fans, maybe, or they're just, yeah, literally, you know, bandaged head hammer emoji. Like, I just don't really know how to, like, say it, I guess. It's just kind of like one of the most obvious things, I think, that you walk into when you talk about like performances or artists or whatever. Like, it's one thing being able to stand still and be able to belt notes and to hit things and stuff like that, but the moment that you add a moving element to it, things become so much incredibly more difficult. It's possible to sing certain songs and dance really well as well too, because, you know, they, you know, either have one experience being able to do that, or the songs allow for you to be able to do that as well too. But fuck, like, if you've got like dance break type choreo where you're like going hard and you have to like utilize a lot of breathing, like, there is no fucking way you're gonna be able to belt, you know, like top high notes and whistle notes and shit and be able to sustain them and control them. Like, there's no way that you can do that type of stuff. That's the most, you know, extreme end of the spectrum in regards to that type of stuff. But, you know, people literally are out here expecting that. So I think that this will kind of show again, on top of the It's Live stuff that happened for NMIXX with OO, that NMIXX, indeed, they are live vocalists, they can sing extremely well, they can perform extremely well, and that as far as K-pop groups are concerned, they are indeed a whole package, because they are, right? I do think, though, with JYP, one thing they probably should have done is not made their debut a single. I don't think that they should have made it a single album. I still kind of stand by that, because even when, like, say, IVE came back with Love Dive, I was kind of already over single albums as debuts. I understand the point of them. I know why, you know, singles and single albums wind up being the debut of a certain group. It's to tease, it's to build traction, it's to build hype, because if you especially like it, you will 100% tune in. It's like starving people of content, starving people of music. And, you know, it works pretty well. But I think, considering, like, the landscape that wound up, you know, really coming to fruition last year, as far as, like, girl groups are concerned alone, I really do think that NMIXX needed like their first EP back with OO, and that if they did get it there, if they were able to even show, you know, like if they were even able to show like OO, Tank, Dice, and Cool on the same album, I do think it would have been a lot better for them. But you know, we can't really turn back time, and nor do I really like, you know, mull on it or whatever. But I think that that's why I'm so excited for the fact that they finally have an EP, because at least now they've got more music behind them, and they're going to be able to show people more of what it is that they can do. And they sound like they've got a lot of stuff up their sleeve for this album. And I think it's going to be a really cool way of being able to show people that, you know, there's multiple different sides of them, but also beyond their titles, beyond like OO, beyond Dice, or whatever it is that people, like whatever box it is that people want to like shut them in and contain them in, they don't exist there, and that they are able to freely move between a lot of different types of sounds and a lot of different types of vibes. And I think that that is going to be really exciting for them. So I can't wait for that. I hope that you guys are excited for NMIXX too, but I'm mad pumped for that. I mean, naturally, it's a little sad that that Ginny doesn't get to be there. I think that was a really big thorn in the side for me last year, man. Not gonna lie. I know that we didn't really... Was it last year or was it this year that was announced? Was it this year? Hang on, let me check. Ginny leaves NMIXX. Oh yeah, December. Okay, yeah. That was a crazy thing for me, man. Ginny and Kyujin were my biases since JYPN, and I loved them. I still do. I still really support her as well too. I hope that she's out there living her best life and doing the best and staying happy and healthy and all that. But you know, naturally, we're never gonna find out what happened with that, and I didn't talk about it either because I was pretty sad. But it was, yeah, crazy. I really hope that she's all good and that, you know, she's like, you know, doing okay out there. But it would have been really awesome to see her in this comeback with this EP and stuff that's coming up. But I really can't wait to see how NMIXX have grown beyond all of that too, because I think that no doubt that, and of course everything that they experienced last year, will give them a lot of strength. It's a really good learning experience for them, and I think that they're gonna own these comebacks, bro. Maybe it's time that we can hopefully start manifesting a first win for them. Hopefully. Anyway, Jisoo's solo. Fuck. Jisoo's solo. Fuck, bro. I saw both last night. I saw the Babymonster teaser first, and then I saw Jisoo's solo second, and I went, what? I gagged, bro. I dropped everything. And I went, what on earth? I knew it was coming. We all knew it was coming. As for when was the question, but what was the date? 31st of March? That's crazy soon. Like, that's insane. Yeah, bro. Look. And yeah, look. And I'll see it live too, right? Oh, for those of you guys who didn't know, I got VIP tickets to Blackpink in Melbourne. Going with the homie Kelvy. That was the most fucking difficult. That was the most difficult ticket scenario that I've ever had. Basically, however you could imagine getting Blackpink tickets going down is exactly how it went down. It was pain. It was pain, but we're going to see them, bro, front row. We're going to be there, right there, VIP. We'll be like, bro, I swear, man. I swear, we're going to see them. I'll die. Fan cams will be taken. But also, I don't really know if they will be taken at the same time. I'm going to try and go. I'll try and do a concert vlog. We'll see how we go. But I just don't think... Yeah. I just don't think I'm going to be present, bro. Like, my mind is just... It's going to be gone. Anyway, I'm mad excited for that. Can't wait to share that with you guys. But, dude, she deserves this so much, man. And I'm so glad that this is finally a fucking reality, man. Like, you know, solo projects have been coming out literally ever since Solo, which was what, 2017 or 2018? When was Solo? 2018, surely, right? Am I tripping? 2018. My mind does not betray. Yeah, November 2018 with Jenny, right? And they've been coming out steadily, and I've thought, okay, sick, this is awesome. And, you know, I've always kind of wondered when we're going to get to Jisoo and what Jisoo is going to look like. And honestly, they've been all really good. I think that they've been a really good like peek into the characters of the actual members themselves, if that makes sense. Like, you know, they've been a really nice in-depth show of like one side of the Blackpink members' characters, and I think that so far I've really enjoyed everything that we've been able to see. Like, you know, Money, that shit does not leave my head. That shit does not leave my head. Gone, that shit does not leave my head. Solo, that shit does not leave my head. And so we're about to see what Jisoo's is going to be like, and I'm sure it's going to be awesome. Honestly, for me though, like, I've always been pumped for it, and I've been like, you know, well, she has gotten absolutely incredible over the years, man. Like, I mean, you know, Jisoo's acting in Snowdrop, from what I've heard, was amazing. We still need to watch that. We'll be over on Patreon, so go and check that out. And it'll probably be over here on YouTube as well too, when I can edit the episodes as we watch. So hopefully you guys can look forward to that. But dude, it wasn't until I heard The Happiest Girl on Born Pink where I was like, okay, I'm desperate for this now. I need this, like, immediately. Dude, that song, like, that's the first time I think that I've ever properly, like, reacted that way to a Blackpink song. Like, that emotionally. Like, that's the first time where I've, like, sat down, tears in my fucking eyes, and questioned, like, where these types of songs have been. And I was like, bro, it was insane. I became more desperate, I think, for that solo with that, and I just think it's going to be awesome to see how she does this. It's been an amazing journey for her so far, and of course all the other members. She's grown a lot. She's obviously faced, like all of the other members as well, a lot of criticism, you know, for, you know, just when artists get big, people are like, well, you have to be big, or like, you know, fucking whatever. So she's obviously been able to overcome a lot. But dude, Jisoo so far, and I think recently as well too, like these last couple of years, man, she's hitting all different types of different. Like, you know, I've always been pretty specific with my biases. It's always been Jennie. It's always been Jennie with Blackpink. And then, you know, on top of that, like Lisa, it's always been Jennie, and then Lisa's just like the perpetual wrecker. But Jisoo is pain right now. Rosie is also pain, bro. But yeah, Jisoo so far, she's knocking on the door, and I'm like, hey, go away. Go away. I can't answer right now. Like, she's knocking. But anyway, I'm really looking forward to that. I hope you guys are too. I know pretty much everyone is, but yeah, dude, the Pinks about to come through and end shit, and then they're gonna be here in 3 months and 4 days, and I'm about to lose my mind when that happens, bro. It's gonna be fucking awesome. And dude, speaking of, their world tour has been crazy. Everywhere they go, they are killing it. I think as well too, like, they're like the one group that when they say world tour, I can like count on it being like a world tour. You know? I think I love that about Blackpink, actually. Like, they've been here before. I know BTS have been here before as well too. I think honestly, BTS and Blackpink are the perfect examples of that. Naturally being the biggest groups, you know, with TWICE not very far behind as well too. That's going to happen, but yeah, look, it's just one of those types of things where I was just so happy that they finally are coming back here. And it's really awesome to see that so far, everyone that has been enjoying them has like enjoyed them to the fullest. I think at every stop. And I think that it's so fucking awesome. I'm so excited. Like, I don't feel one bit spoiled. I feel just so amped, so geared up to finally get around to my own Blackpink concert. I don't know if I actually told you, I haven't told YouTube this, but I've told Twitch this a number of times. But bro, I literally could have gone and seen Blackpink back in 2019? I could have gone and seen Blackpink back in 2019. I wasn't listening to K-pop too heavily at the time because I was in another state. I was in another city doing my master's degree, and my head was down. I was in the books, bro. I was like, fuck. I had an exam coming up the day after Blackpink's tour in Sydney, and I was actually really behind on like studying and shit. And one of my friends had a spare Blackpink ticket, and to the fuck, what's it called? Kudos Bank Arena in Sydney. And he knew that I'd like, you know, talked about K-pop. He knew I spoke Korean and stuff. So like one of my co-workers was like, hey, I got this Blackpink ticket, but my mate can't go. And, you know, I'm having trouble selling it. Like, do you just want to take it? Like, do you just want to come with me? If you want, you can pay me a little bit, but do you just want to come with me? Because I can't find anyone else to come with me. And I literally said, man, I got exams the day after. I'm sorry, bro, I can't go. And I missed it. I missed it. And I missed it. I had my first wave of master's exams, bro, and I wanted to die. The timing was absolutely horrendous. But I literally got offered a free ticket. And I said, no, man, well, I'm behind. It was a really shitty situation, but I felt bad. And then the worst part is like literally at my exam the next day, I'd like, you know, done it and all of that type of stuff. I had an assignment coming soon after as well too. So it was a pretty good decision. It was a very adult decision. So I patted myself on the back for that. The worst part though was that I heard people talking about the Blackpink concert that happened the night before outside my fucking exam venue. So many of them were like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Like it was so fun. Like, oh, it was so awesome. Oh, did you see this shit? And then like, I was like, fucking hell, bro. I was like, Jesus Christ. I hate my life. And it sucked. It was a big regret. So I was mad excited to get them this time. And I mean, you know, things have a way of working themselves out, but oh yeah, that was pain. That was pain. That's one of my best stories I think that I can tell. Them headlining Coachella will be wild and fucking deserved too, bro. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. But anyway, speaking of comebacks, continuing, we obviously mentioned a lot earlier. We mentioned Billy, we mentioned Pixie, we mentioned Cherry Bullet. There's multiple others that we can, of course, get into as well. I think we might even wind up doing another episode once they've come around and we can review them. Yuju, so former G-Friend, but soloist Yuju, she's coming back very soon. I think it's tomorrow, right? Yeah. Tomorrow, Gravity's coming back today. But we can talk about them. But yeah, dude, March is going to be packed. We're really starting to gear up, which I think is going to be awesome. But April, bro, news of an IVE full album around the corner. Fuck. Bruh. Like, I literally said, I remember saying, like, yes, 11 was great. Yes, like, freaking Love Dive was amazing. Yes, After Like was sick. Stop giving me fucking singles. Stop giving me singles. Stop giving me singles. I do not want them. I don't want them. So, full album or mini album or whatever, I'm just happy that IVE is getting an album. I'm so stoked. I'm so pumped, man. I think that is fucking awesome. Oh, dude, I was so excited. I was like, you know what? Fuck. Let's go. This is it. Once again, it's one of those types of things where people love to talk about IVE. They love to shit and say whatever they want or whatever. Oh my god, like so-and-so gets this treatment, or oh my god, so-and-so. Like, people are so obsessed with the most random shit, bro. Like, we don't even pay attention to the music at this point, which is really sad for some K-pop fans. But then again, that's pretty much just relegated to TikTok. You know, I'm fucking talking about TikTok. Anyway, dude, just the fact that they're getting this music and that they can showcase this side of themselves is huge. Massive. And I'm so pumped for that. LOLO indeed. Welcome to everyone who's just popping in. Yeah, dude, I'm really excited. Really looking forward to it. I mean, let me say this. I dislike the idea of single albums, but everyone, in the, what is it now? 15 months that IVE has been around, do we know how many albums they've sold? Do we know how many albums they've sold? 3 million. 3 million. Let me drill that in. 3 million. They've sold over 100k JP albums. But 3 million Korean sales, bro, is insane. Just on fucking, just on single albums. If this is an EP, it's going to boom higher than that. If this is a full album, it's going to boom higher than that. Regardless, it's going to be crazy. And indeed, people do still buy albums. It is a massive thing for K-pop. But dude, 3 million in what, 15 months is wild. IVE are gonna fucking kill this. I think that it's gonna be amazing. They're gearing up for a really, really exciting year. I think with Babymonster coming onto the scene, or BAEMON as we call them. BAEMON obviously coming onto the scene, the Island 2 group this year, because don't forget that that's happening. Island 2 is happening, remember? That's happening, and that's going to be like, I can't wait to talk about that. Le Seraphim, aespa, bruh, aespa full album, Lord, don't start me. Ooh. BAEPLER, yeah, bruh. I mean, we're just talking about girl groups here, right? But, like, dude, holy shit, like, aespa full album, that's going to be insane. We can talk about that in a sec. New Jeans, like, New Jeans aren't even a year, they're not even a year old yet. Who knows what they're releasing this year, bro? They released a single album as a follow-up and everyone just died over Oh My God and Ditto. Jesus. Anyway, it's going to be crazy. So it's going to be really interesting, I think, to see how IVE continue slotting into that, that, I guess, competition this year. Yeah, Idol soonish as well too. Yep. There's a lot coming. This is, I'm just naming like the most recent 4th gen GG debuts. So basically like the class of late 2021, 2022, plus of course aespa, because you can't ignore aespa because they were 2020. I mean, we can also take this back to ITZY, we can take this back to Idol, we can talk about that, but the scope, I think, of the 4th gen is rather just too big. So the last like 2 or so years we talk about there. But huge hitters. And indeed, Jen, I'm glad that you mentioned Promise, because indeed, they're also dropping a full album and it's going to be fucking awesome. I'm actually so excited for that. That's probably one of my biggest points of hype at the moment. I just need it soon. I need to cop that Promise light stick as well too. But yeah, dude, it's their first since they debuted 5 years ago. Once again, really sad that Goody can't be part of it and stuff like that, but it's going to be an awesome time, I think, for Flovers. I think it's going to be awesome to finally get more people to listen to Promise as well too, but also for the members to be able to show everything that they really wanted to. I think that Goody's probably going to wind up being like the #1 streamer of that entire album. You know, I think that that's going to be awesome. But yeah, dude, Promise I'm really excited for. I'm really pumped to see what that highlight medley is going to look like and for what that's going to be like. I just hope that all the music releasing doesn't make the internet unbearable, but that's a long shot in it. Yeah, look, it's tough nowadays, I think. People I think take the competitive aspect too seriously. I mean, part of the thing I've never really understood is that most of these idols and or groups are like really good buds with each other. Some of them have even trained with each other like prior to debuting anyway too, and people go on to say some of the absolutely fucking craziest shit, and it just winds up being one of the biggest projections of either their own insecurity or, you know, just their propensity to want to hate. Some people just hate shit for the sake of hating shit. It's just insane. So, you know, I don't think that that's going to, like, you know, wind up dying down, especially as K-pop picks up, because we are, I think, running into an era where, you know, it's really starting to emulate kind of like what the 2nd gen boom started to look like. I don't think that we're fully there yet, but it's really starting to like kick in, and I think that it's only going to bring more fans in. It's only going to start more conversations like this. But yeah, people just need to fucking relax. In other words, just enjoy the music and enjoy the groups, you know. That's why you come here and bask in the positivity. Indeed. Indeed. Come through to the streams. Come through to the channel, y'all. Stick around if you guys enjoy the good vibes, because at least, yeah, we like good vibes, bro. But yeah, more eyes are on it. The more eyes are on it, the more mouths are talking about it. Naturally, you get the toxic people come out as well too. But yes, aespa, bro, full album is going to be so welcomed. Their minis so far have been really good, but I think that their full album is going to absolutely smack. Like, they previewed some of the songs at their recent concert. I heard Don't Blink and Thirsty. Thirsty is like, dude, Illusion and Lucid Dream level for me. I was like, holy fuck, this sounds amazing. But aespa, I think, are a group that desperately need a full album at this point anyway. to really just like showcase more of themselves. And I'm really glad that they've got the idea, like, that they've got the ability to do that, because you know, it's not about proving themselves to any other people or to fans, because there's always going to be people dissatisfied regardless of what people do, honestly. There's always going to be people or fans who are let down or upset, or people who are just saying some shit. But with aespa, I think especially, their varied style that diverges from like the next level savage girls type titles and stuff, I think their varied style, their ability to like dip into R&B is just so fucking premium. It is so good. It is so good. And I think honestly, aespa's B-sides are probably one of the main reasons, on top of the fact that I love those titles anyway, that I still actively listen to them as much as I do. Like, the fact that Illusion is practically unbeatable for me right now still is crazy to think about. And I think that versatility is a huge strength of theirs that I'm really excited to see them utilize through a full album. I think that that's going to be really cool. Twice, that's going to be huge. I will talk about it, I think, as we get a little bit closer. But that's going to be absolutely fucking amazing. They've been killing people left, right, and center, bro. Like, Momo existing as Pain. The entire outfit of Twice existing is insane. Every teaser they drop, I'm like, oh lord. I've been keeping myself away from the video teasers, hence why I can't say too much at the moment. But the pictures that they've been dropping, I mean, as expected, it's Twice. What do we think's going to happen? So that's going to be amazing. But yeah, they are, I swear they get stronger each era. Like, I know that sounds so cop out, but like, literally, you know, seeing Twice grow up the way that they have, like, you know, even last era, I remember saying to the homie, so my really good mate, that's so Kelby, for those of you guys who know Kelby, he's a massive once. Dude kettled, like, dude literally, like, he was squealing and shit basically over Twice coming here, and I was too. But yeah, I had to call him, bro. I was so excited when I found out they were going to be touring here in May. We were literally on the phone on stream. I was like, Twice is fucking coming here, and he was like, what? Dude was like geared up in bed. He was like all cozy. Once this man gets into bed, you can't get him out really. But Twice did, and he even podcasted about it. You can go and check it out on his channel. Yeah, man, like, with them, we were saying that, like, dude, so far Twice has been really good, but like, mature Twice is crazy. Mature Twice is wild, and the more that they start to get comfortable with that, Moonlight Sunrise being a really good example, the crazier things get, bro. Like, I really just love where their sound is going. I love the fact that they've got the ability to pay homage to their old sound as well too, and really do everything in between. And I just think that they're fucking sick, man. Like, I can't wait to see what this comeback winds up looking like. I can't wait to even see it myself in person. And I hope that for those of you guys that are, you know, attempting to get Twice tickets at some point or whatever, that you guys get the ability to see them as well too, because I think that it's going to be awesome for us. It's going to be great. But anyway, one last thing as far as girl groups are concerned, and indeed COVID was the switch for Twice, right? Can't Stop Me was indeed an era that was a turning point. One last thing we'll talk about as far as girl groups are concerned before we move on to our last point today is WJSN. Now, this has been a little bit of a sore point, I think, over the last couple of days. Or I mean, not really the last couple of days, even the last couple of months, because, you know, their 7th anniversary was coming up. Very just recently passed. And yeah, basically, for those of you guys who aren't aware, especially for those of you guys who are in the chat who aren't aware, we're talking about like anniversaries, with the 7th anniversaries meaning contract renewals. Some groups renew, some groups don't, and they wind up disbanding and stuff like that. And yeah, WJSN had their 7th anniversary, and basically they'll now, instead of being continuing as a 13-member group, in theory, in practice 10, they'll actually be continuing as 8. Now, there's a bit of a silver lining, I think, that I've seen some Ujus talking about. I don't really know what has been confirmed or what hasn't been, though, because there's still a lot of like up in the air information I think that needs to be confirmed. But I do think that there is like a silver lining to this. C-Line finally were confirmed to have left, which I think is good because it puts the copium to bed. I don't mean it's good in as much as like, you know, oh my god, yeah, so happy they're gone or whatever, but rather I think that there was still like a lot of people hanging on to hope that, you know, they were going to come back. Yeah, like some closure. There are a lot of people holding on to hope that they were going to wind up coming back, or that, you know, it was just a matter of time before we potentially saw them back. But, you know, of course, C-Line finally confirmed to have left. Yeah, really kind of put things to bed, which I think was good. It offered some fans some really good closure, and I think that that's definitely what was needed. I mean, it would have been great if they could have done that earlier. I have no idea about really what the behinds look like for contract and announcement negotiations, but as C-Line are also under WJSN, there's obviously a completely different type of like dynamic that you have to take into account with announcing certain things as well too. So likely Starship and WJSN had debated about it and talked about it and probably just decided instead to wait, because it's not like everyone was shouting for C-Line to come back in the last couple of years necessarily anyway. Like, that's not really all the fans were focusing on. There's still like, you know, occasional talk about them and stuff, especially something that I see as a Wuju myself, but it wasn't huge, right? So there's that. Of course, naturally that would have taken things down to 10, but it's been confirmed that Luda and Dawon have left Starship. Now, this is the one thing that I've seen that's kind of like rather unsure. Personally, I've seen people saying that they've left Starship. I've seen people saying that they've left Starship and WJSN. And I've seen people saying that, no, they've just left Starship, but they're still part of WJSN. A lot of people have referenced, like, Changyun with Monster X, because, you know, say I am from Monster X. He's still with Monster X, but he's no longer with Starship, if that makes sense. So I don't really know what the go is with that. If there is information that's been clarified, especially since I've done my research, feel free, of course, to correct me down in the comments below, or even in Twitch chat as well too. But my copium obviously is that they stay with WJSN as well too. But of course, if they don't, then you know, I wind up just wishing them the best. I hope that, you know, Luda and Dawon find happiness, of course, in what they're doing, regardless of whether it be with WJSN or not. I know that Dawon, of course, has had some stuff happen in the last couple of years where she needed to take a break, and so I of course hope that she gets a really long rest and does what she wants to. I think she'd be a brilliant influencer. I mean, she already is as an idol, but she'd be great, I think, to like watch on YouTube and stuff. Luda is just brilliant as well too. She's shown some really good stuff even recently on Girls Reverse, which we do have to catch up on, so we will be catching as well too, by the way. But yeah, either way, that was something that happened recently. That was a little bit of a pain hit. I was a bit sad, but wishing the best for them, hoping that it winds up that they've wound up staying with WJSN. But also at the same time, the one thing I would think though is that if they've been confirmed to have no longer been with Starship, if they were with WJSN, it would have made a little bit more sense for them to say that in the same kind of breath, if that makes sense. Like, if they did wind up staying with one, then they probably would have said it with the announcement that they were leaving Starship as well too. And I know that Starship already bid them farewell, like wishing them well and stuff like that. So I don't know, it's just it's normally told in the same statement. It wouldn't be said afterwards, unless maybe there's a delayed decision on it, which also doesn't make sense because there's a reason that they didn't renew their contracts, right? So yeah, the only difference is that with I Am, yeah, it was literally like, oh, I'm leaving Starship, but I'm still with Monster X, so don't worry about it. So yeah, Starship said WJSN is 8. We'll definitely wind up having to see what winds up happening or not happening, but either way, I wish them the best. As far as that is concerned. To be fair, wouldn't it be up to whatever company they join post Starship? Maybe. I mean, it depends as well too on whether or not they even wind up joining a company. I would just think it's really weird if they do wind up staying as promoting with WJSN and all of that type of stuff if it hasn't been mentioned already. You know, a lot of people were saying like, oh no, they're still with WJSN. That could just be a copium train in and of itself. But yeah. Another bit of sad news, which hit recently as well too, especially for a group that I've seen live and a group that I love a lot, is Rocky has left ASTRO. That was sad. I know there's a lot of people who are very upset about that naturally as well too. Rocky's been through it recently, man, not gonna lie. There was all of that stuff about, if I recall correctly, I just don't follow, I really try not to follow Twitter drama and all of that type of stuff. But yeah, Rocky's left ASTRO. I know that he recently had stuff going on with like a relationship and stuff like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was recently stuff with a relationship. And you know, he experienced like a lot of backlash, I think, for that as well too. Like, people were big upset about that, especially certain K fans. There were even some fan sites that were very upset about that, some international fans as well too. Not everyone. I mean, a lot of people are like detached enough to go ahead and say like, oh yeah, naturally it would be like that, I'm happy for you, or whatever. But yeah, like there's certain activities and stuff that he hadn't necessarily been present for, and a lot of people were asking where he was. And then of course, you know, Fantagio was just like, yep, he's gone. I also found it kind of crazy how they announced his departure, but then announced Moonbin and Sana's tour. Like they promoted their activities that are going to be happening in South America like the next day. Like there wasn't even like a grace period. There wasn't even a grace period. Like Fantagio is just like, anyway, moving on from that, yeah, there's so and so left, but also here's this thing that's going to be happening in South America, come and join it, hope you guys enjoy. Which I thought was a little bit it didn't leave a very good taste in my mouth, not gonna lie, but it's Fantagio, what do you expect? They're not necessarily the company, I think, that you could say that you put total trust in to handle a situation well anyway. But yeah, the Rocky situation makes me really worried for another Fantagio group, Weki Meki. Indeed. Fantagio groups just in general, I think I worry about actually. Because, yeah, for those of you guys who don't know, they have had a fucking insane history, especially recently. They've not had the best one, dude. Like Fantagio has had so many CEO changes in the last decade. They've had scandals that they've been involved in. I think with like what was it, embezzlement? Like they were bought out by like a holdings company or something like that had a relationship with, or was a Chinese real estate company that wound up having the CEO being thrown in jail and imprisoned and stuff like that. And then they changed CEOs, like I think it was like almost every year, or like just with really short time intervals or something, to the point where that was probably I'm not going to go ahead and like claim cause and effect, but you know, there were a lot of things that were going on with Weki Meki, especially where Weki Meki basically just fell off the radar. And of course, so did ASTRO. Like there was fears of them even disbanding and stuff, but you know, recently it's obviously gotten better, a little bit better at Fantagio, or let's say better, stable, a little more stable. Yeah, I guess just not hearing things from Fantagio artists, and then of course seeing that Rocky winds up leaving ASTRO, especially after not hearing or seeing a lot of him, really makes me worry for Weki Meki a lot. So I hope that they are okay. I hope that everything winds up going cool with them. I think the one thing that I can kind of take solace in with Weki Meki is Yudong. Like obviously her solo was last year and stuff. She wound up having that, but I mean, it really wasn't promoted crazily. Like there wasn't, honestly, there were hardly any people talking about it really, which was pretty sad to see, considering, you know, who she is, considering especially what happened on Produce, and of course, you know, the fact that she's even a big name in the industry and she's largely very respected. She had her appearances on Street Woman Fighter as well too. There's a lot of stuff, of course, to say about that, but yeah, really unfortunate what happened to Aroha and just Astro in general. I hope everyone's taking it easy out there. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people get very upset about this type of stuff and they grieve over it, and I think that that's okay. It's really important to let people just be and to feel through things the way that they feel through it, because, you know, music means different things to different people. And it was really upsetting, I think, to see a lot of people dismissing others, especially on social media accounts and different places, saying like, oh my god, well, you should have expected this, or blah, 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 like, oh, don't worry about it, it's just this or that. Like, you know, it's not, it's once again just, I guess, a thing with idol culture just in general. But yeah, with Rocky, I was really sad to see that happen, because he was a bias for me. Of course, on top of that, him and Jinjin, bro, like their project that they released was amazing. Like, I got to see them perform at Hallyu Pop Fest last year in August. They were incredible. So, you know, obviously for that to happen made me really sad at the thought that we might not see that ever again, that I won't see that ever again. But also on top of that, that, you know, just that unit even is finished, and that Rocky doesn't get to show, you know, more of what it is that he's capable of. But regardless of where he is and what he's doing, I hope he's doing okay, and I hope that people still wind up supporting him as well too. Yeah. And that's very true as well too, LT. Yeah, Suyeon had an OST just this past weekend, which was some form of comfort, I guess. I guess they're still doing stuff, which is good. All right, to wrap up today's little podcast, the last topic is Boys Planet. Boys Planet. Bro, eliminations were just held last week, and eliminations were crazy. 3 hours is fucking insane. Dude, I low-key forget just how long eliminations are for survival shows, especially Mnet survival shows. But bro, I was dead. Like 2 hours in, I was like, is this shit done? I was like, Jesus Christ, man. Absolutely fucking crazy. They were tough. But not gonna lie, somehow I think that things have worked out pretty well. Out of my top 9, 7 of them actually got into the top 9, which is a pretty crazy hit rate. I was really surprised by that. And only Haruto and Jongwoo was sitting outside of it. Jongwoo, I am 100% here for, bro. I'm so excited to see so much more of his growth. And Haruto is literally just like a living meme, dude. He is amazing. He's super talented. Mega extra, definitely. Out of all the characters on the show, he's definitely one that I really enjoy a lot. But that's literally just how he is, even on like social media as well too. If you don't know, then go and check out some of his Instagram stories and stuff like that. But yeah, I've really been loving that. I'm not gonna lie though, with the top 9 as it is right now, if they debuted as is right now, I'd be fucking stoked. So far, Boys Planet has served us nothing but quality. I think as far as the performances are concerned, as far as all the trainees and their talents are concerned, I think that we have seen such a large array of talent. The contest has been really good, and it's been really healthy as well too. Like, no one's been toxic, or there's been no major points, I think, even where people have, you know, like said some crazy shit or whatever. I mean, of course, that's probably for the episodes to come, but I think everything's been really good, and I'm honestly really looking forward to the rest of the show. The next rounds, I think, are going to be awesome, and I can't wait to see what that's going to be like as well too. So let me know who out of your top 9, your predicted top 9, actually wound up making it in. What was your hit rate, and what are you looking forward to the most for Boys Planet? But just in general, for those of you guys who have sat and listened to the entire podcast, what did you come for? Which part of the discussion did you come for, and what are your thoughts? Do you have anything to add? Do you have anything to obviously add on to that? I'd always be really interested to hear what you guys have to say down in the comments below. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. As always, I had a great time just talking out of my ass. I hope that you had a good time listening. But for more, whether it be reactions, whether it be podcasts, whether it be manga read-throughs, manhwa read-throughs, webtoon read-throughs, and or Japanese music or whatever, feel free to, of course, subscribe to the channel if you guys would like to stick around for more, if you enjoyed the vibes. Obviously, give the video a like as well, too, because it, of course, helps the podcast. It helps, you know, obviously, that reach more people as well, too. But do definitely know what you came for and what you stayed for down in the comments below. But until next time, until episode 5 of Ichibang, I'm signing off. Thank you so much, as always, for your love and support. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.